Lenn Woolston, sci-fi fantasy writer, blogger, and nerd, and thanks for checking out my channel today. So it is almost Halloween, hence my cat ears. What are you guys dressing up as? Go ahead and leave it in the comment section below because I love Halloween and I love costumes and all that. So I was super excited when I was tagged by Brooke Passmore to do the Hocus Pocus writing tag, which was created by Kim Chance and Destiny Murtaugh, and I will go ahead and link all their videos below so you could check them out because, my God, they're great videos. They're funny and insightful, and yeah, they're a good time, so definitely check them out. On a completely side note, I love Hocus Pocus so much that when I believe I was 12 or 13, I dressed up as Winifred Sanderson for Halloween, and I put like all this dye in my blonde hair to make it red, and like it freaking stuck for like weeks after that. So I had like this like nasty pink hair back then. It was bad. But did you guys also know that this is the 25th anniversary of Hocus Pocus? And I'm showing my age there because I was 7 when it came out, so do the math and you'll know how old I am. Question 1. Sarah, Mary, and Winifred Sanderson. Being a witch is hard, but so is writing. If you had magical witchy powers, what aspect of writing or what part of the process would you magically skip over? So I will say that because I am going on the path of being a traditionally published author, that I would love to skip over the querying process. Like, I'm currently in it, and it sucks. So I would just like to skip over that, just find an agent, somebody that loves my books as much as I do, because, yeah, that's the part I would skip. But if I had to actually pick that writing aspect of it, I would say probably I get really caught up when I have to get like that 3rd or 4th revision. So it's like you've already been through it once after drafting it, and then you get some input from your CPs and some of your beta readers, and like you're just going through it. I like get really stuck and I really start to doubt myself. So that's one part maybe I would say like is really the editing part, but it's like the later editing. Yeah, I could just skip that over. Question 2, Max and Danny. What relationships tend to be at the core of your books? Friends, family, romance? This is a real tough one because I like writing kind of darker themes, or, you know, there's usually like a sense where there's kind of just, I don't know, this like overcast on kind of the plot. But I would say that if I had to pick a relationship that's very common in my books, I would say it's actually the relationship with the main character and their self. So it has to do with like them either finding that they have potential in them, or they're having to deal with some demons, either figuratively or literally, to where they end up very different as the story goes on. Question 3, Amok, Amok, Amok. How do you approach the chaos that is drafting? Are you a plotter, a pantser, or a combo of both? If you have watched any of my other videos where I talk about any part of my writing process, you will know that I am a plotter. Like, I have to have everything all figured out on some kind of outline before I can begin writing. And I think that's because I found that if I just try to free write my actual story, it just ends up going nowhere. And so I need to have that outline. Like I said, I've related it to like the GPS that tells me like, hey, you need to go this way, rerouting. Like I need to have that outline to help me. Question 4, I put a spell on you. How do you deal with book ideas that want to pull your focus from your main WIP or work in progress? I'm going to give you guys a little bit of my confession when it comes to my writing ideas. I have tons of them. I think about new writing ideas all the freaking time. But what I found is I write them down in lots of notebooks. Like, it's ridiculous how many notebooks I have. And I also have notes on my phone. But I would say right now I have like at least a solid list of 10 book ideas that aren't just like little thoughts. They're basically a rough outline. So I find that if I have some kind of new idea that I get really excited about, I try to like just jot like little notes or somewhat of an outline and then say, okay, save it for later. So that does help me when it comes to like, oh, I wonder what I should write next. Like I already have like this huge stash of books that are just waiting to be written. Question 5, Thackeray Binks. Things aren't always what they seem. Think back to when you first started writing to where you are now. How has your process transformed from then to now? I would say the biggest difference I have with my writing from way back when to now is I'm way more vocal about it, and to say that, yeah, like I am a writer and I write things. Whereas before I would just kind of tuck it away and like literally keep it in closets because I just didn't feel like I had the validation to call myself a writer because I hadn't published anything, or like I hadn't actually had a book of some sort to give to people or like reference them to. And so I've definitely just been trying to put myself out there more. And like even when I meet new people and they ask like, so what do you do for a living? I try to focus more on like, hey, I'm a writer, I'm an author, versus like, you know, like a day job or something like that. So putting myself out there has definitely helped my confidence as a writer. So yeah, that's why I'm here on YouTube now. Question number 6, my lucky rat tail. Do you have a writing ritual? If not, what are some of your favorite writing tools? I typically love to just stick to the pen and paper, so obviously I have to have that for writing. But if I have to say an actual ritual, is I have this like process, and it works for me. I'm not advocating it for anyone else unless you want to steal it. But I find that if I need to do some like brainstorming, or like I'm stuck in some kind of plot hole and I need to like get myself out, I will tend to drink alcohol because that helps kind of with my creativity. And I think as it like silences that, just that inner person who is trying to just be like, you don't have it all figured out. But having a glass of wine or a beer, that helps with that. Sometimes it's a shot of whiskey. But on the flip side to that, when I actually have all these ideas and I have everything ready to go, then I definitely reach for caffeine, usually in the form of tea, rarely coffee because I'm not a coffee person. So tea, maybe soda, tea. We'll go with tea. But having those two definitely help with my writing process. If you want to steal it and you're of age, go ahead. Question 7 is book, but it's drawn out and I don't have a fantastic voice like the other ladies do. So, book. Favorite writing craft book. I have quite a few that I've been going through, but I have one here that I recently finished. It is called Writing Voice. Writing Voice. And this was written by editors from Writer's Digest. This has helped me so much, and I have loved every aspect of it because you get kind of the inside industry's advice when it comes to writing voice. And for me, I really needed that, and I'm just so excited with what it's going to do for my future projects. Question 8, another glorious morning. Do you enjoy writing in the morning, or do you prefer the evening like Winifred? I definitely, for me, love to be more active in the morning. And that's because I am a morning person, just naturally. I feel that that is where like my strong point is when it comes to like my brain function and just all my creativity. But because I have children, I have learned to adapt to be a night owl or a night writer. Not night writer, but writer. You get what I mean. Anyway, so I tend to, if I could have my choice, it would definitely be in the morning, but I've learned to adapt to the night, so yeah, yay me. Question 9, the black flame candle. What's one of the biggest mistakes you've made so far in your writing journey, or what's the biggest lesson you've learned? I have learned that the whole writing process and like getting a book out there and everything is subjective. Everything is subjective. you will hear that certain people are telling you all these tips and tricks that do it this way, and then you have other people over here telling you to do it a completely other way. You have agents and editors saying they want this, but then other ones are saying they want that. And it all comes down to that I've learned that you have to write what you want and what you're passionate about, because it's just so subjective. It's like anything in when it comes to asking somebody's opinion, it's going to be subjective. There are things that people are going to like, people are going to dislike, and you need to be okay with it. And just because somebody doesn't like your book doesn't mean that it's awful. Question 10, Billy Butcherson. What's a trope that most people hate but you love and would like to see come back from the dead? I have a very soft spot for the chosen one. Like, I love that there's like one person and they are just destined for greatness. I'll go a step further and say that I love when it's like basically an average person, or somebody that like is even like a loner, or of course a nerd or something like that, where they don't get a lot of attention, or they're just, they're just average. It seems like, okay, what's so great about them? But then they get to go on this epic quest of sorts, and I just love that so much, because usually, again, it's about like finding what is within that person that makes them to where they grow as an individual by the end of the story. And yeah, I love that sense of empowerment, and then just like that transformation that the character gets to go through. Question 11, Come Little Children. Songs that give you hypnotic focus when writing. So like favorite songs on your writing playlist. I definitely have, like, I make a playlist for each of my books, and it kind of depends on what is going on in the book. But I would say if I have like nothing and I just need like a default, like, especially like if I'm like just like editing, I'm just trying to like go through stuff, like when I get to like the just line editing stage, I love listening to Lindsey Stirling. Oh my gosh, if you guys have never heard of Lindsey Stirling, like, you need to right now, because her music is just so beautiful, and it's like a mash of like classical music and like techno, and it's just so great. It's really awesome to have in the back, because it's not like just something that'll like put you to sleep, but like you will feel amped, but also like with this beautiful melody from her violin. So definitely go check her out. Well, that is all. I want to thank Brooke. Thank you so much again for tagging me. This was so fun. And thank you to Kim and Destiny for creating this. I'm going to go ahead and tag a few people. So I'm going to go ahead and tag Maverick Moses. And I'm also going to tag Becca Smith. And I'm also tagging each and every one of you, because this is just so fun. I mean, Hocus Pocus is such a great holiday movie, and it's something that I watch every single year, and no matter how much my husband gets sick of it, I have to watch it. And yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome Halloween. And if this is your first time here, thanks for checking out my channel. I post my videos on Fridays, so go ahead and give this a like if you like me doing writing tags. And don't forget to subscribe on your way out so you don't miss a single post of mine. And until next video, bye!